And I am here to change that. I hope that I can inspire more agents to be able to do that. But ultimately, you don't learn that in school. And so I had to go out and find my own education and learn how to do that, learn how to find. And really, what I found out is anybody can be an investor. You don't have to be the business person that's buying a apartment complex in downtown. Like that's what you think of, but really anybody and everybody should be an investor because you can buy single family houses. If you live in an affordable state, you can buy them affordably.
Podcast. Okay. Hey everyone, it's Jenn Foster here with the Elite Expert Insider Podcast, and we're really excited today to have Melissa Nash with us. She is the lazy real estate investor, and she's an educator and wealth strategist. So we're really excited because she, in her 40s, built a multi-million-dollar business, and she was burned out, and so she wanted to do something different. And so she has a rental portfolio now, and she teaches people how to be a lazy real estate investor. So, welcome, Melissa.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here and chat with you today.
So, tell us how you first decided I want to invest in real estate.
Yeah. So I'll make it quick. I'll give you guys the fast forward version. So I knew that rich people owned real estate. That's all I knew. I didn't know why, I didn't know how, I didn't really understand things. And so I thought, oh, I'm going to become a real estate agent. That's how I'm going to learn all about real estate investing because that's really what I was trying to figure out. But I was also pivoting to a new career because my husband and I had actually, I say lost. We lost our multi-million-dollar company that we had started and owned previous to this. It was a children's clothing business and we manufactured overseas. Clearly, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm on the right show. But anyways, in 2008, 2009, we were wholesaling and stores were going out of business and people couldn't afford inventory, blah, 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 blah. We ended up being able to sell the business. So I say I lost. We did sell it. It was for peanuts, but it is what it is. We've moved on. We've gone through the tears and the trauma of that. And I was in my 40s and I was like, okay, what's next? Where is my next career move? And so I always had this real estate thing. I was always scrolling on Zillow randomly across the country at night. And I was like, hey, I'm going to become a real estate agent. But really, it was so I could try to figure out how to become an investor myself. I ended up finding out that, like, you don't really learn how to become an investor through real estate school. It's more helping people buy their own houses. And so I absolutely hated showing people houses and waiting at open houses and all this stuff. So that's where my journey began. So I'll stop there.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people think, okay, I want to invest in real estate. I'm going to get rentals or I'm going to buy houses. And they're like, okay, so I need to be a real estate agent so I know how. And it's like, wait, actually, agents don't buy houses for themselves, they buy houses for other people.
They should be
They
buying houses
should.
for themselves.
Yes, they should.
And I am here to change that. I hope that I can inspire more agents to be able to do that. But ultimately, you don't learn that in school. And so I had to go out and find my own education and learn how to do that, learn how to find. And really, what I found out is anybody can be an investor. You don't have to be the business person that's buying a apartment complex in downtown. Like that's what you think of, but really anybody and everybody should be an investor because you can buy single family houses. If you live in an affordable state, you can buy them affordably. If you live in an expensive state like I do in California, I don't invest here. I buy outside states that make sense and are affordable and cash flow and all the amazing things. I can buy a property for $130,000, $140,000 that cash flows double-digit returns. And to me, the reason why I want to do that is because it's creating not only cash flow, but it's also creating wealth because we all know real estate goes up in value. And so as real estate goes up in value, my tenants are paying off my mortgage and I'm pocketing the cash flow. So anybody can do this. And that is my mission, is to teach everybody how to do it.
Awesome. Well, let's do the first thing that people always ask when they're like, okay, I want to invest in real estate. Oh yeah, there's this property in Ohio. It's 130,000. How do I get $130,000? What if I'm broke? What if I have all this debt? Like, what do I do? How do I get 100? How do I buy a house? if I don't have
Yeah,
money, right?
that's
That's the big question.
yeah, that's a great question. So, my word for you is leverage. Leverage means you're going to use a lender to buy the property. And why this is so great is because the lender will say, "Hey, I'm going to give you 80% to buy this investment property. You only have to put 20% down." And so, not only when they give you that money, you get 100% of the cash flow, you get 100% of the appreciation. The tenant is paying down your mortgage for you, and you are literally able to write off that interest on your taxes. So to me, it's like the most amazing thing. Like, you can't go to buy stocks and say, "Hey, I want to buy all these stocks, but I only want to pay 20%." Like, you have to pay 100%. And so real estate is one of the only things where the lender, because it's a real asset, it's a hard asset, and the lender knows that if for some reason you go sideways and you can't pay it, they get that house back. Like, it's not just fake paper like a
Right.
stock. So they actually will get that a property back if worst case scenario happens. So lenders will gladly give you money. So you're going to put 20% down. So, when you're putting 20% down on a $130,000 property, yeah, you're going to have to pull money out of your savings or wherever you're getting it from. And then there's a lot of different loan options. I work with some of the best lenders in the country that I recommend. And not to get too far into the weeds, but there are loan programs out there right now that are available that literally make it so easy to invest. You're not going to go the conventional route. You're going to go with a DSCR loan, which
Uh-huh.
means that the property has to qualify for the loan, not you. And you're actually going to put that property right into your LLC, put your 20% down, and they're not going to take your blood and your firstborn child. Like, it's very easy, less paper trail, less red tape. And it's honestly the best loan right now you can get. You just have to have a credit score, I think, of over 640. Super easy.
Okay, that's great. So you don't have to have a 700 or higher. You don't have to have a lot of money. You do need the 20% down or get somebody to give you that money, like find somebody to help you with that 20%. But then the DSCR loan, I know one thing that I have encountered with trying to get one for myself, what is that you really have to have a good, like you said, you have to have a good mortgage company. You have to have somebody that you can know, like, and trust. Because I went through it, and I think they drug me through the mud for over like 4 months and had me keep doing appraisals. And I was just, and they kept charging me all this money because it had to be fast. And I'm just like, I really feel like I'm getting taken here. Like, I needed to switch mortgage companies, and it's okay. You can switch. You can go with whoever is going to be the right fit. And they never did get me a loan. So I think I was getting scammed a little bit. But if you have those right relationships, so I think it's really important, like what you just said about having the right loan officers, the right mortgage companies that will help you to get those, or whatever lender it is. I know there's a lot of different lenders out there, and especially with the DSCR loans, they might not be a traditional mortgage person that you go to, like a bank. You don't go to the bank, like it's somewhere
Right.
else.
Exactly. You're 100% right. There's so many scams out there. I've heard about them. You're not alone with that. And yeah, that's terrible. Nobody wants to go through that. Yeah, so I literally keep it like a old school Rolodex, so to speak,
Yeah.
or my phone Rolodex now, and I have my lenders on speed dial because I'm
Yeah.
using them as well. I'm not just saying, "Hey guys, you should use them." I'm still buying. I'm an active investor, and so they're on my speed dial. And then I'm like, "Oh, I talked to a client. That client wants to talk to you about DSCRs. Great. Here's the number. You guys connect." So I definitely work with the best of the best. And that's the thing, is they have to be experienced with investor loans. Anybody can be a DSCR lender, but at the end of the day, like, you want to save money, you want to be able to move quickly, not lose deals, and also not lose your life savings paying for fees over and over.
Well, tell us a little bit about how did you, I know that like you have a lot of properties that you've bought and now turned into rentals, but it also says that you have flipped over 50 houses, but they weren't in your state. So tell us a little bit about your flipping background and how you flipped those houses even though you weren't there.
Yeah, definitely. So the first thing that I always tell people to start with is, honestly, the way I did is, my very first property wasn't a flip, because here's what happens the traditional way. I'll say flip or a renovation. Let's say you go on MLS and you find a property in Alabama and you're like, "This is a great deal and it needs some work and I can put some value into it." First of all, you've got to negotiate, you've got to find a realtor, you've got to negotiate the deal, you've got to find a contractor, you've got to hope that they did a good job and you trust them. You've got to find a hard money lender who's going to give you the money to purchase it because it has to be in cash. There's a lot. And then you got to hope that you did everything right. And then you're going to get the appraisal, pull your money out. And then you're either going to sell it or keep it. And then you've got to find a property manager. The list goes on and on. There's a lot of room for error. And so what I always recommend people to start with is don't do that, because you're going to set yourself up for failure. That's a second job. You're going to grow a lot of gray hair from that. So the first step is what is called, now the term is thrown out there the term has been thrown out there a lot, but it's called turnkey real estate investing. And when you're doing it right, which is what I've done, is I've created this business model where you've got the property, you've got the people, and you've got the process. So in other words, so I have teams that I have vetted out and have long-time relationships with in some of the best markets in the US. So Indianapolis, St. Louis, Ohio, Alabama. And these people are who I've partnered with in a way. They're the flippers. So they go out, they find distressed properties, they renovate it for you. Then they place it with the local property management company, and then you can buy the property. So you're buying a property that's market value. You're paying what it's worth. You're not buying it for cheaper. You're not overpaying, but you're definitely paying market value. So you can now buy the property that's renovated, so you don't have to worry about it. And then you're also getting the property manager there to do everything for you. So again, you're just working with the lender, putting your money down and buying this property. So I call this real estate investing with training wheels. And that's how I got started, because you just eliminated 99% of your job. So you can be a busy working professional and do this. And I live in California. So if I wasn't able to buy properties out of state, I would not have been able to grow and do what I have because of the cost and a million other factors here. So anyway, so you can actually buy a property that cash flows great, puts money in your pocket, does all these amazing things. And so that's where I always encourage people to start. That's where I started. That's where my first property was. And then as I gained experience and knowledge, I was like, hey, I want to do this whole thing where I'm going to go out and renovate these properties and hire contractors. And so I did some on my own, and then I did some with a business partner, and I will never do it again. And I'm very experienced. Like, I know what I'm doing. I have all the teams, I have all the people. I grew gray hair because of it. Doing it in another state 2,000 miles away is not for the faint of heart, because you have to be on people, on them, like the contractors and the money and the budgets. And why are they taking so long? Every day you're losing money. And then you've got to turn around and sell it. And that's more money you could lose. And it was a lot of stress. Looking back on it, the business partner that I was with wanted to sell them. And so that's what we did. So that's the flipping part, is we sold them. In hindsight, I wish that we would have kept more of them. I was able to keep a few of them. I wish I would have kept those. So that was a mistake. But at the same time, I'm at the point of my career where time is really valuable to me. I don't want to create this stress in the second job I had. So I continue to buy these turnkey properties now. Again, I don't have to do anything, and I can buy them from my couch, which is what the lazy investing, that term comes from, is I'm like in my pajamas analyzing the deals and buying everything virtually.
I love that, because you can really go through now with all the tools out there and really find the properties that you need. And you don't have to worry about all that, all the other stuff. Let the companies who know how to do that do that. I love that you just buy a turnkey property. I think that's really great. And then
Yeah.
you have a property manager, so you're not the one getting the phone call saying my toilet broke. So,
Exactly. For a hot second, a tenant wanted me to manage her. She got my information somehow. I don't know how she tracked me down, because it's all very actually private. Actually, I know, because that probably was not in an LLC like it should have been. So note to everybody, we love LLCs. But anyway, she wanted me to manage her, and I thought about it for a second, and then she started texting me more and more, and I was like, nope, block. Hey, property manager, you're going to deal with her now. I don't need this in my life.
yeah, exactly. So tell me a little bit about, so now you are mentoring others and you're helping others with real estate investing. You have a podcast. Tell us about that.
Yeah, definitely. So I have found it's interesting, because I never thought of myself as like an educator, but I'm absolutely an educator, and I love it. And I think the reason why is because I've seen what real estate can do for me, my family, and my kids. I helped 3 of my kids buy rental properties before they were 18. And so setting them up with this type of education, we're not taught this in school. And so I now truly find it not only my mission to help other people do it, but I absolutely am obsessed with it. And I'm like, how can I get this out to more people? So I started my podcast. It's called Passively Rich with Rentals. I started it last year. It's been a lot of fun. I just go on there and talk about all the things, real estate, like how to do it as lazy as possible and make it as passive as possible. And then since the last 10 years, I've helped over 2,000 people actually buy rental properties. I want people to take action when I'm working with them. So I do have different types of coaching programs and different options that people can work with me. But the goal is not just to set you in front of a computer and watch 200 hours of videos. No, that's great. Education is awesome, but I set forth a plan for people to be able to actually do it. I want you to learn how to analyze properties, know if a deal is good or bad. And then by the way, I have access through my vetted partners for these properties that you can actually buy off market. So then you get exclusive inventory flow of these properties. So at any given time, I have about 30 properties in all these different states that are newly renovated with property managers that come down my pipeline that I then share with the clients that I'm working with. So that's how people are able to also take action quickly. You can do it on your own too. Go for it. That's amazing. But some people are like, no, I'm too busy. Show me what you've got. Show me what you've already analyzed, and I'll pick from that pool. So that's really cool.
That's great. Have you ever purchased a home on seller finance instead of getting a
Um,
loan?
No, I have never ever done that. I'm all about creative and
Okay.
creative financing and creative options. And I've done something recently in Little Rock, Arkansas with a seller. It wasn't seller financing, but I was able to get him to transfer title of a property that was already renovated into my name. And then he sold it to me at a discount. And then I was able to refinance it because the title
Okay.
was in my name.
Yeah.
So it was a workaround about
Yeah.
seller financing, but I wasn't working with the seller didn't own the property. No, he did own the property cash free, but I wanted the property in my name in a loan and a DSCR
Yeah.
loan separated from the seller. So that's why we did it that route.
I see. That works too, right? So that's creative. That's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
good.
it's and that's the thing too is, there's different stages in your life and your career where you have more money than time and sometimes you have more time than money. And so we have to get creative with different options and how are you going to grow and scale this portfolio and where's the next money coming from and all of this is part of it. However, I do firmly believe that as you learn and grow, those opportunities will come up. You just have to get started first. You just got to do that first deal. Don't get crazy about it. Don't make it complicated. Don't try to do all this craziness. Just buy a property that's already renovated, put your 20% down, get in the game, understand how it works, and then start building from there as your knowledge increases.
Yeah. What would you say the first step is? Is it to get educated or is it just to start the first deal, listen to your podcast? Like what would be the very first step?
Yeah, I think that one of my things that I believe in firmly is also setting expectations. So if you're brand new and you're like, "Hey, real estate investing sounds cool," we need to first set your expectations. What do you have time for? What do you have the money for? What types of markets are you interested in? There's a strategy there. And so some people don't really know what they don't know yet. The knowledge is perfect. Like, great, continue down the knowledge path for sure. Listen to my podcast, read books, but at some point there's going to be a lot of confusion. There's a lot of noise out there because you're going to hear people go, you should be flipping houses. You should be buying storage units. You should be doing Airbnb. There's going to be a lot of noise out there. And that's one of the things that I really try to help people narrow down is like, a lot of these are active investing. If you want to create a second job for yourself, then go down this path. If you want to do this passively and easily, let's go down this path. And then how much money do you have to put into it? So I do help people with that kind of goal setting and figuring out what it is that they actually have time and money for. So you got to think about that. But then at the end of the day, if passive real estate investing makes sense for you, then let's do it. Let's find you a property and let's get you in the game.
I love that. Yeah, and I think I don't know if you're a member of a mastermind or any type of like group, but I think having like a group of people, whether it's an online Zoom class or some kind of mastermind where you're talking with other investors, So I think that's important. That's similar to like hiring you to coach through this or help. Have you helped them figure out like what path or where they should start? I think that's really good. Do you belong to any groups or masterminds?
Yeah, I did years ago, and I'm not in any right now. I'm building my own mastermind, so to speak, with my students. I have a school community
Mhm.
that I just started at the end of 2025. And so we're just getting students in there right now. It's a free school group. Again, if anybody wants to reach out to me, go to Passively Rich with Rentals. I'm going to actually show you, first of all, to get into my ecosphere, to get into that school group. The first thing that I want to show people is like, hey, let me show you how to run a deal because numbers can be intimidating for people. People are like, how do I know if a deal is good or not? And so if you go to my website, you can actually watch a live video. You don't even have to sign up for anything. I believe in free education as much as possible. And so you can literally just watch this live video of me going through and I'm running an example of a property in Ohio. And I'm like, hey, this is how the math works. And these are the profit centers of real estate. And this is why I love this so much. And then if you want a copy of that spreadsheet, then you can sign up, send me your email, and then I'll give you a copy of that spreadsheet. And then you'll also be invited to join my, because I really want people in there. I don't want just anybody in there. I want people who've shown engagement, that want to learn and want to have some education. So that's why I have it tucked inside there for people. But anyway, so it's really cool. And we'd love to see anybody over there who is thinking about, hey, like, real estate investing sounds cool, but maybe I live in an expensive market and it doesn't make sense. But $130,000 property in Ohio sounds pretty cool to me. Then yeah, we should definitely connect.
Great. We'll give that website one more time and we'll put it up in the show notes as well.
Yeah, so it's passivelyrichrentals.com.
Awesome. Well, we'll put that in the show notes and people can go there and watch your free video as well as sign up for the school. I think that would be really good. Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much, Melissa, for being on the show today. Please like and subscribe. And of course, if you thought this podcast was helpful, please share it with someone that you know.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Hey, are you looking to increase your revenue, build credibility, and elevate your brand? This podcast is brought to you by Elite Online Publishing, an innovative publishing and full spectrum marketing company. They will publish and market your book to make it a #1 bestseller. Becoming an author is the best way to market your business. So contact them at eliteonlinepublishing.com today. All of their authors become #1 bestsellers.